I have a bone to pick. Really, I do. Because a lot of you say the exact same thing over and over again on your ads, on your websites, on your search ads, on your postcards, and honestly, a lot of you are really boring. So I'm going to tell you what you need to tweak as far as your messaging, because I promise you it should get you more calls.
The Mammoth Plumber podcast with Tyler Williams on the mic. He's dropping marketing gold, making your business spike.
I absolutely think that most plumbers aren't writers, and that's okay. Honestly, guys, it really is. However, I think that you really do need to know the power of writing, and you need to know the power of what messaging can bring to the table with your marketing. You got to remember that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many tactics you put in place. It doesn't matter like if you're doing all the right things. If you're saying the wrong thing, or you're saying something mundane, or you're saying things like everybody else in the market, it just kind of falls on deaf ears. You're just part of the noise. You're part of the problem of marketing instead of being something that people actually want. So first, let's define your demographic. Your demographic, if for service work, which is what I specialize in helping you guys get, is going to be the woman of the house. It's going to be the Mrs. Jones is a term that gets thrown around a lot. I call her Sally sometimes. But basically, that's your customer avatar. And it's really important that you understand what she wants. Because a lot of you are talking like plumbers on the internet, and that is not attractive to Sally. What the woman of the house really wants is she doesn't want to know the work that you do. She doesn't care about it. She doesn't care what the parts or the pieces or the hardware or the technique, cares nothing about it. What she cares about are the results and what that gets her. So I have an example on our website that I pull up when I do consults. It's our template website that we have for a fake brand that I created that I get to control. It's like my baby, right? So in there, we outline the services. And one of the things I always point out is I go, look at these stock images. These are stock. Now, they are not of a plumber. They are not of walls. They are not of wrenches. They are not of pipes. They are not of like dirt work being done or a wall being torn apart. Nobody cares about your capabilities. What these are is this is a woman distraught. It's a sink full of just terrible looking water. And then it's a woman in a bath. Now, why is that? Because the woman that is distraught, she has a leak behind her. And it's telling the story of how she needs somebody to help save her. And guess what? Services plumbing repair. Then we get into the second one. Okay, a dirty sink water with a plunger in it. What is that going to say? Oh, drain cleaning, of course, right? But this is an experience that Sally and Mrs. Jones have had before, and that's what you need to leverage. And then you get over to the water heater. With the water heater, what is it that you need to do? I have never once, this is a line I use often, I have never once seen my wife come down into our mechanical room and say, gosh, I just want to take a look at that water heater because it looks so good. You will not get traction selling a water heater by showing a water heater. Don't show the water heater. What she really cares about is the bath. That's why you swap that image out with, hey, you know what? Wouldn't it be nice to have a reliable hot bath at the end of the day instead of having the kids take all of the hot water? That's a huge selling point. And so you have to make sure that the way you present your services to your customer match that. And this is where the way it is reflected on your website, the way it's reflected in your advertising, the way it's reflected on your landing pages, the way your text shows up and talks about it. It needs to gel with what she wants. It will help you on the marketing. It will help you on the sales if you take the time to identify and understand what your customer actually wants, because that is good marketing. That is advertising 101. Sell the people what they want. You want them to buy the water heater. So she wants the bath. So sell her the bath and you get the water heater. That's really it. So there's that whole side of it, right? But it also oozes into general personality. So a lot of times I go into somebody's website and I'm looking at the first thing there. And some of the biggest mistakes I see is their website doesn't actually tell me what action that they want the user to take. So call now is a very simple call to action. Send us a note is another one. Hey, have a question, use this chat widget is another one. And then, of course, you've got your big old headline, which usually, sadly, is saying like expert plumbers in, Denver. Okay, that sucks because nobody cares. You're the only person who wants to be known as an expert. What she cares about, what the person who is on the other end of your website cares about is, oh God, are you going to take care of me? And so you need to say what they care about. Solving your home's biggest plumbing problems is a easy one. If you have a 5-star review on Google, you could say, come experience our 5-star plumbing difference, right? Differentiate yourself a bit. So I think that is a thing that is lost. The art of writing your ads so they actually connect with the human on the other end. I can't tell you how many websites and website companies are out there not paying attention to it because they're website designers and website developers. They aren't copywriters. But if you're never influential in your marketing, you're never going to have influence. But so I wanted to share some ideas that I have bandied about when it comes to advertising to help give you a little bit of juice to this conversation for you. So I have on my computer here, I'm going to pull it up. Some concepts that we have just as our stock thing that we offer clients, and then we reskin them. And so this is kind of some of the idea around this. So first thing, remember that you have the ability to pick up all your reviews on Google and actually show them to people. Otherwise, if you don't do this, if you don't take these things up and put them into ads on social platforms, then nobody knows you're a 5-star plumber until they need a plumber. You need them to know before they need a plumber, so they look at choosing you before they need a plumber, right? That way, when they wake up, they have a problem. Cool. First, this is the easiest, lowest hanging fruit because you don't really have to write anything. Just take one sentence. Don't take the entire Google review. If you take the entire Google review, it's too long. So what I want you to do is take one or two snippets of a Google review, blast that out on social, turn that into an ad. And if you have multiples, run them in rotation. Then what's something else you could say? What's something that would appeal to the middle-aged housewife? Well, how about your mom called? This is something that I have said before. I think I have done a whole nother video about it, but you have a graphic of a plumber and a woman behind him who looks like a grandmother. And it says, hey, your mom called. We thought you should know. She's okay. She just needed the world's best plumbers to take care of her home. And we made the list. Don't worry. She still loves you more. What you're doing with something like this is you're actually giving them why they're on these platforms in the first place. Nobody likes advertising that is interruption, and you are interrupting, so at least give them something back for that. That's the sacrifice, right? So give them a little bit of entertainment. Doesn't have to be a ton, right? This is a very comforting, cozy message because it says, hey, your mom loves us. Would you like to love us too? That's it. That's all it is. So that's one idea. Another one is, and this one I have two messages for. We have no job too small. A lot of you are saying no job too small, but that's the problem. A lot of you are saying no job too small. So who's unique? None of you. Instead, what if it is a picture of a hand holding up a very tiny toilet that fits in the palm of your hand? And it says, size doesn't matter because no job too small. We'll take on the small jobs too, right? So there's one concept. Another concept utilizing the same message but spinning it again is like, hey, we have a fun-sized plumber available for small jobs. So call us if you have just a little problem that needs a little plumber. Boom. Then I've actually named him. It's like, we call him Mini Mark. And then you've got a plumber standing on a hand, and he looks just tiny. So that is another way to spin that. And so let's talk about something a little bit more actionable. What do you do if you want to run an offer? Well, if you want to run an offer, also have fun with it. So simple headline. Sweet plumbing deal flying your way. A woman is reaching out to catch a coupon that is coming to her on a couple of wings. And on the video portion, this thing is animated, right? So, and it's a coupon that says, hold on to this offer, $100 off for first-time customers, yada, yada, yada. Basically, save this offer. Save this for when you need it. Put it on your refrigerator. Save it in your email. Save it in your phone. We just need to see that you have this offer, and we will honor it. That, like, we are very clear on instructions, but the actual thing is just like, hey, here's a sweet deal coming your way. Aren't you happy about that? Instead of, being so direct with the offer that it has no curiosity. So these are all examples of ways you can take a message that you're already doing and you're just layering on something that actually makes it engaging. Because I will always die on the sword of, if you learn how to write, you can win the market with the world's worst graphics, with the worst placements. Like, people will pay attention if you say the right things and if you play the card of personality over playing like the game of just act now or forever hold your peace, whatever, right? You get the idea. So there is a book that I read when, gosh, I must have been 22. Well, just as I was getting into advertising, that has forever formulated the way I look at this stuff. And that book is called The Wizard of Ads. I highly recommend that if you are looking at writing, if you're looking at becoming better at crafting messaging, you go and you pick up this book. The company that does it is Roy Williams. They're still around. They're awesome. But I read that book a long time ago, and it forever changed the way that I looked at advertising. At the time, I had just gotten a job writing a ton of radio ads, doing newspaper ads, doing websites. I was sort of the production lackey for a very small agency in my town. And but I learned a ton because I had to write a radio ad every day. That book told me how I could actually pull that off without sounding mundane. Coming up with your 40th joke for a steak is a little bit of a lift. So use humor, leverage humor, use stories. StoryBrand is another very good book that I highly recommend in order to sort of capture how you need to communicate. And eventually this stuff starts feeling like second nature and you just start dreaming up concepts, which is part of the fun, to be honest. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you a level of clarity around how you need to talk to your customer. Be appealing to your customer, and I promise you, they'll look at hiring you instead of hiring other people in the market, even if they are more expensive, which allows you to charge more. It allows you to be more of a premium service company, which is what I really want you to be. I want you guys to grow. I want you to build your business. And listen, you're going to do things that work awesome. You're going to do things that don't work. But if you never actually take the step of really embracing the risk and embracing the courage that you're going to need to be dumb on the internet sometimes, well, then you're leaving a ton of money on the table. All right, if you want to hear more about my company, go to tylerwilliams.net. Someone on my crew would be happy to take a look at your marketing and say, hey, here's what we think you need to work on, and give you a little bit of a roadmap. We'll tell you about what our services are, of course, because that's our sales loop. But overall, hope this is useful and you got some value out of it. You have a good one. We'll talk to you later.
Want to grow your business? Here's the plan. Go to tylerwilliams.net and be the top in the land. Now let me tell you the epic tale of how Tyler Williams became the marketing man. His story begins when he was just a year-old lad. His mother needed a plumber, but their ads were so bad. The house flooded and sank, and young Tyler was mad. Swallowed by the earth, into the abyss they fell. He blamed the bad marketing that led them to this hell. At 1 year old he vowed to the stars above he'd harness marketing power and give plumbers some love. He's Tyler Williams, the marketing baby. From tragedy he rose to bring plumbers joy. With a vow to the stars and a plan in his hand, he's the one who saved them, the marketing baby. 10 years later, he set out on a quest to find ancient secrets that would make him the best. He tamed Mark the Mammoth and rode the wilderness fast, fighting grand campaigns, leaving them in the past. In a glowing cave with lights so bright, he found a dead wizard clutching tablets of might. For 30 long years he studied those stones, deciphering marketing secrets that shook him to his bones. He's Tyler Williams, the marketing boy, imbued with power, returning pain into joy. With fire in his eyes and stone-carved campaigns, he brings plumbers the truth to ease their pains. 30 years later he emerged from the cave, riding Mark the Mammoth, a legend so brave. Back to Alaska with tablets in tow, He chiseled new ads ready to make them glow. His campaigns were epic like discovering fire. Plumbers would soar, lifted ever higher. He hit the launch button, the world wasn't prepared. Neighborhoods flooded with jokes, as Tyler declared. After 40 long years of learning marketing power, the baby became a boy. The boy became a man. And now Tyler Williams finally became the fabled marketing man. He's Tyler Williams, the marketing man, bringing plumbers out of the Stone Age as fast as he can. With jokes and memes, he blankets the land. Soccer mom swoon, it's all part of the plan. Now Tyler roams the world with boldness and might, crafting campaigns that set everything right. He's bald, bearded, with glasses in place, laughs at his jokes, but they're never out of place. With a smile and a wink, he launches the show. His ads are dumb, but they make plumbers grow. He's the marketing man with campaigns so grand, bringing plumbers out of the Stone Age as he planned. So when you see Tyler, remember his quest. He's the marketing man who's simply the best. Bald and bold, with a mission so grand, he's Tyler Williams, the marketing man.